All right, deputies, are you all ready?
Yes, sir, we are.
All right. All right.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Good morning, Ms. Cole. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is first appearance. Good morning. My name is Judge Marcus Thorpe, and I am one of the associate magistrate judges here in Clayton County. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here this morning because each of you have been charged with alleged offenses over the last several days, and you've been, of course, taken into custody. There are a few things that we're going to talk about here today. But as we go through this, more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to all to remember really several things, but most importantly, that this is not your trial. Excuse me. You have not been found guilty, so I'm not here to take a plea. This is simply my time to advise you of your rights, to go over what you've been charged with, to also advise you of bond if you've been afforded one, to discuss with you whether or not you will be appointed an attorney free of charge after I speak with each of you, and then to also advise you of any upcoming court date.
Bro, sit that man in the cell, bro.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But now, as we go through this, if any of you cannot hear me or you have any questions about anything as we go through the information that I'm going to provide to you, please don't hesitate to stop me or let me know. Again, as I said, please be careful about what you say with me. This is not your trial. This is not a plea, and this is being recorded. And so anything you say can and will be used against you, as well as you make anyone that is present here today, including myself, a witness. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights that I'm going to tell you about. You have the right to a presumption of innocence. You have the right to an indictment by a grand jury for felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf. You have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, or to have an attorney represent you. And if you cannot afford an attorney, as I mentioned earlier, one may be appointed to you if you qualify. Also, if you are not a citizen, it is important, ladies and gentlemen, that you remember that some of these charges may adversely affect your immigration status. And so you will need to consult with an attorney after today's hearing. Now, as I mentioned earlier, among the things that we are going to discuss today, in addition to what we've discussed so far, is your bond. Now, there are three ways, ladies and gentlemen, that you are permitted to make bond. You are permitted to make bond by use of cash, a commercial bond, which is a bonding company, or by property. Now, if you post a cash bond, that means that someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash with any mandated fees here to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until after your final court date, at which time your cash will be returned to the person who posted it. And so the example, ladies and gentlemen, that I like to use is if I tell you today you've been charged with battery family violence and I tell you your bond is $6,000, that means that whether it's yourself or someone who brings it down for you, they will have to post $6,000 plus any court fees, any fees through the sheriff's office, whereupon the sheriff will then hold that money until your case is closed, and then it will be returned to the person who posted it. Now, if you cannot post a cash bond, as I mentioned, there is what is called a commercial bonding company. If you use a bonding company, you don't have to come up with the entire amount. You only have to come up with anywhere from 12 to 15% for their service. However, it's important to remember that amount that you provide is non-refundable. And so the example I use about the battery family violence, if you use a bonding company, you would have to give to the bonding company approximately $750 out of the $6,000, but that will be their money to keep. Now, the final way to post bond will be the use of a property bond. So if either you or someone you know is in possession of a piece of property that is worth at least 3 times your bond amount, then you may be able to have that person bring down the deed to the property to the sheriff's office, who then will hold it so long as you attend all your court dates. And once your case is closed, he will return it. So you would need someone, in my example, if your bond is $6,000, they must have at least $18,000 in equity in the home. Now, in addition to your bond, ladies and gentlemen, some of you will have conditions of bond that you are not to violate laws while you are on bond, but also that you are not to either have contact with someone or that you're to stay away from a particular place. Now, if I tell you that you have a no contact provision on your bond, this means you must stay away and have no contact with the alleged victim. It means you cannot call them, text them, email, write a letter to, or contact through any social media platform. You can't even do something as nice for the person, such as sending them flowers or a nice song, because that may be a violation of your bond. If I tell you that you are not to return to a particular location, that means you can't go back for any reason. If the no return place is a place that you used to reside at prior to this alleged incident, once you bond out, you have to contact the Clayton County Sheriff's Office within 10 days of your release. So again, if you are, if I give you a bond of $6,000 for battery family violence, and I tell you you can't go back to where you were living, if you're released or you make bond, then within 10 days, please contact the Sheriff's Office from Clayton County, and they will go there with you, as you are not allowed to go alone. Now, please understand, ladies and gentlemen, that if you do violate the bond order in any way, and the court considers this contact intimidating or harassing, you could receive an additional felony charge, such as aggravated stalking or influencing a witness. And these types of charges carry up to 20 years in prison and or $20,000 in fines. Also, if I tell you that you have a special condition, and that's to stay away from a particular person, please understand that that person is a spouse, family member, or friend that wants to try to bond you out. Because you're to have no contact with them, that means they can't come down and bond you out. So if you have gotten into an argument with a boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, and they are the ones that want to bond you out, and I tell you that you can't have contact with them, they can't do it. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond. Whether a bond is appropriate in your case will be considered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider the new arrest. So for some of you, ladies and gentlemen, I've had a chance to review everyone's criminal history. And if I find that, in fact, you are on felony probation, I will not be able to set a bond, and I will give you a new court date for a new bond hearing. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk to you about, ladies and gentlemen, before we swear you in and then begin today's proceedings, is what's called a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is where you, the defendant, your attorney, and the judge, as well as the police officer, are present to review the facts of your case and determine if there's enough evidence to continue forward to the next stage and to have it reviewed by a prosecutor. If you are charged with a felony, you automatically get that preliminary hearing unless you bond out of jail. If you are charged with a misdemeanor, you have the right to have that hearing if you want it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as you come up to speak with me, if you are charged with a misdemeanor, I will ask you, do you want that hearing or would you like me to waive it? If you say yes, you want that hearing, I will give you a new court date. If you tell me no, you do not want that hearing, then I will put that down on your paperwork. And that just means that your case will move a little quicker and go to the prosecutor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now with that, if I could have everyone please raise their right hand. Now, do you swear or affirm that the information that you're about to give to this court, as well as any information you provided on your application for court-appointed counsel, is true and correct? If that is so, if I could have everyone please say I do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please put your hands down.
Ladies back in six.
All right, so,
Spanish translator. Two Spanish ladies going six, please.
right, Ms. Toles, I understand. I believe we have 3 individuals that need interpreters. Is that correct, Madam Deputy?
It's 2.
Okay, 2. Okay. All right, so Ms. Toles, if you would, please raise your right hand.
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm that the information that you are going to translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English will be true and correct?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. If you would, Ms. Toles, please go ahead and introduce yourself to the 2 individuals.
Hola, señores, buenas tardes. Soy la intérprete que le va a ayudar hoy con el juez.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
All right. So first up, if we could have Mr. Vasquez.
Primero tenemos al señor Vasquez.
Sí, yo.
Yes, me.
Okay. And are you Mr. Vasquez?
Este sería entonces el señor Vasquez.
Sí, Vasquez.
Yes,
Okay.
Vasquez.
So, Mr. Vasquez, before we start to talk about your charges, I want to inform you of why we're here this morning.
Entonces, señor Vasquez, antes de comenzar a hablar sobre sus cargos, quiero informarle de la razón de su presencia aquí hoy.
So today, this is what is called your first appearance.
Esta audiencia de hoy se llama la comparecencia inicial.
It is my job here today to advise you of what you have been charged with, and then also to discuss with you bond if you are entitled to it.
Mi trabajo aquí hoy es hablar con usted sobre los cargos que se le ha imputado y también sobre la fianza si se le ha fijado una fianza.
Sí.
Now,
Yes.
as we go through this, sir, please keep in mind, be careful of what you say to me because this is being recorded.
Mientras estemos hablando, por favor tenga presente que se está grabando la audiencia, así que tenga cuidado con lo que va a decir.
Ajá.
Okay?
Ajá.
There are several things that, however, I want to go over with you first, as in, remember, you have the right to remain silent.
Pero hay varias cosas que quiero repasar con usted. Primero, como por ejemplo, acuérdese que usted tiene derecho a permanecer callado.
You have the right to an attorney, and if you do not cannot afford one, then one can be appointed for you.
Usted tiene derecho a un abogado y si no pudiera costear un abogado, se podría designar uno de oficio para representarle.
You have the right to a presumption of innocence.
Tiene derecho a la presunción de inocencia.
Okay. You have the right to an indictment by a grand jury for felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
Tiene derecho a la presentación de cargos graves por el gran jurado y la presentación de una acusación cuando se trata de delitos menores.
You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Tiene derecho a un juicio público y sin demora ante un jurado.
You have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses to testify on your own behalf or against you.
Tiene derecho a ver, a escuchar y a interrogar a los testigos que se presentan a declarar a su favor o en su contra.
You have the right to testify as well if you so choose.
Usted también tendría derecho a declarar si elige hacerlo.
And you have the right to offer evidence in your own defense.
También tendría derecho a presentar pruebas en su propia defensa.
Now, please keep in mind that if you are not a citizen of the United States, that some of these charges may also negatively affect your immigration status.
Tenga presente, por favor, que si no tuviera la ciudadanía estadounidense, algunos cargos podría afectar negativamente su situación migratoria.
And so it is important that you speak with a immigration attorney so that you may determine if this will have any effect on you.
Entonces, sí es de importancia que hable, señor, con un abogado de inmigración para determinar si estos cargos le va a afectar.
Now, in addition to what we've discussed so far, sir, you may have some conditions that are placed on your bond here today.
Además de lo que hemos hablado hasta ahora, posiblemente la fianza que tiene conlleva condiciones especiales.
And if you do, those conditions will include for you to not return to a particular place or to not have contact with a particular person.
Y si su fianza conlleva esas condiciones especiales, indicarán que usted no podría regresar a un lugar en particular o no podrían tener contacto con una persona en particular.
And if I tell you those things this morning, please make sure you follow my directions as it could have a negative effect on your case.
Si le digo esas cosas esta mañana, por favor, acátese a mis instrucciones porque podría afectar negativamente su caso.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, sir. Do you go by any other name other than that which you have given us this morning,
Una
Mr.
pregunta. Una
Go ahead.
pregunta para usted, señor. ¿A usted lo conoce por algún otro nombre aparte del nombre que tenemos aquí para usted esta mañana?
A mí,
¿Me?
¿otro nombre o cómo?
My other name, or what do you mean, sir?
You could tell me your full name.
Si me podría decir su nombre completo, por favor.
Roberto Jonathan Vasquez Gómez.
Roberto Jonathan Vasquez Gómez.
Okay, they've got it divided.
Oh, parece que ellos lo escribieron diferente.
No, Roberto Jonathan Vasquez Gómez.
Okay, it's Roberto Jonathan Vasquez Gómez.
Tell him my apologies. They have it different in the system, so it took me a moment to locate it.
Pido disculpas, señor. Ellos tienen su nombre diferente en el sistema, así que tardé y encontré su información en el sistema.
Okay. Just un momento.
My cell phone.
All right, so Mr. Jonathan, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass.
Entonces, señor Jonathan, a usted se le acusa, se le ha imputado un cargo de intrusión ilegal.
Okay. And based on the information I have before me, sir, I am going to go ahead and give you a bond this morning of $2,500.
Basándome en la información que tengo aquí delante, sí le voy a fijar una fianza de $2,500.
Are you currently working, sir?
¿Está trabajando actualmente, señor?
Ahorita sí estoy trabajando un día sí, un día no, porque ahorita no tengo mucho trabajo.
Right now, I'm working one day on, one day off because actually there's not a lot of work.
About how much money are you earning per month, sir?
¿Y alrededor de cuánto dinero, señor, está ganando al mes?
Al mes
¿A month?
no tengo
Yes, sir.
algo fijo porque a veces trabajo, a veces sí, a veces no, no sé cuánto realmente genero al mes.
I don't have a fixed amount because sometimes I work and sometimes I don't. So I really don't know how much that is.
If you had to give me an average, what is the average amount?
Si usted tuviera que decirme un promedio, ¿cuál sería el promedio?
A la semana creo que gano como 500, a veces 450, sería como 1,800 al mes.
A week, I earn around 4,000. I'm sorry, the interpreter made a mistake. A week, I earn around $400 to $500. So a month, I guess that would be around 1,800.
Okay. Do you have any children?
¿Tiene hijos, señor?
¿Mande?
Excuse me.
Do you have any children?
Si usted tiene hijos.
Acá no, en México sí.
Not here, but I do in Mexico.
You take care of them?
Y usted cuida de ellos.
No entendí.
I didn't understand.
Do you take care of the children, as in do you send money back to them?
Que si usted cuida de ellos, si usted manda dineros para el cuidado de ellos.
Sí,
Yes,
con mi
yes.
esposa.
Yes, with my wife.
Based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning, sir. I need, based on the scratch that, Ms. Tolles. Based on the information you provided, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a lawyer this morning free of charge.
Basado en la información que usted me ha dado, le voy a nombrar un abogado de oficio para que le represente sin costo para usted.
Ajá.
Okay?
¿Está bien?
You have any other questions
Está
for me,
bien.
sir?
Okay. ¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta más para mí, señor?
No, no sería todo.
No, that would be all.
All right. All right, sir. Well, then that's all I have for you this morning. Again, your bond is going to be $2,500. I am going to go ahead and give you a lawyer free of charge. Actually, I apologize. One last thing I do want to talk to you about. Because you are only charged with a misdemeanor, you have a right to what is called a preliminary hearing.
Gracias, señor. Sería todo. Como dije, su fianza se lo fija $2,500. Y perdón, sí se me pasó decirle una cosa. Como usted solamente tiene un delito menor, tiene derecho a algo que se llama la audiencia preliminar.
Ajá.
Ajá.
A preliminary hearing is where you, your attorney, and the officer are present. This is not your trial, but they are there to review your case.
La audiencia preliminar no es el juicio, pero es una audiencia donde usted, su abogado y el agente de policía está presente.
¿Cuándo sería eso?
When would that be?
If you don't bond out, sir, it'll be in about 30 days from today.
Si usted no sale bajo fianza, usualmente tendrá lugar de hoy en 30 días.
¿Y la fianza cuándo tengo que pagarla?
And when do I have to pay the bond?
You can do that any moment after your hearing is done here today.
Usted podría pagarlo en cualquier momento después de que se concluya esta audiencia de hoy.
Y si pago, no entendí bien, ¿yo estaría afuera o me presentaría a corte otra vez?
And if I pay, I'm not sure if I understood that well. Would I be out or I would have to come back to court again?
So if you pay your bond, sir, you will be released, but you will get a new court date in the mail. Your case will not be over.
Si paga la fianza, sí saldrá en libertad, pero le van a hacer llegar una nueva audiencia, la fecha de la nueva audiencia por correo. El caso no se termina.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, sir, just to make sure that I protect you, I'm going to go ahead and set the preliminary hearing date. It's going to be July 9th this year at 8:30 a.m.
Entonces, lo que voy a hacer para su protección es fijar la fecha de la audiencia preliminar, que será el 9 de julio de este año a las 8:30.
9 de julio de este año a las 8:30.
The 9th of July this year,
Yes,
8:30. Sí,
Yes,
señor.
sir. And again, you would only go to that if you don't bond out. If you bond out, then you don't have to go.
Y repito, señor, usted solamente asistiría a la audiencia si no sale en libertad bajo fianza. Si se paga la fianza y sale, entonces no va a la audiencia.
Si no pago fianza, ¿cuántos días estaría acá?
If I don't pay the bond, how many days would I be here?
That I cannot tell you, sir. It will be till your court date comes.
No podría decirle, señor, porque depende de cuándo sea su próxima cita judicial.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions I can answer for you, sir?
¿Alguna pregunta más que le podría contestar, señor?
No, ¿tengo derecho a hacer una llamada?
No. Do I have a right to make a phone call?
Yes, you do. And sir, the sheriff's office can assist you with that.
Sí, señor. Y los de la oficina del alguacil le pueden ayudar con eso.
Okay. Gracias.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right, sir. Good luck to you.
Buena suerte, señor. Gracias a usted.
All right. And sir, how do you pronounce your last name?
¿Cómo se pronuncia su apellido, señor?
Narvas.
Narváez.
Okay. Mr. Narvas, my name is Judge Thorpe. Did you hear any of the information that I went over with the gentleman before you?
Señor Narváez, buenos días. Yo soy el juez Thorpe. ¿Escuchó usted algo de la información que yo repasé con el señor anterior?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Then before we get started with your charges, do you have any questions of me?
Y entonces, antes de comenzar, ¿tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
No, quería escucharlo cargo y a ver si después que los escuche puedo hacerle alguna pregunta.
No, I'd like to hear the charges, and then after hearing them, perhaps I'll have a question.
Okay. So you were charged with one count of no proof of insurance.
Entonces, se le ha imputado un cargo de no manejar sin comprobante de seguro de auto,
You're charged with one count of driving with a suspended license.
un cargo de manejar con la licencia suspendida,
Okay. And your bond for the no insurance is $1,000.
la fianza por manejar sin seguro de auto es $1,000,
Your bond for the suspended license is $2,500. So your total bond is $3,500.
la fianza por manejar con la licencia suspendida es $2,500, entonces la fianza total está a $3,500.
Okay. Now, are you currently working, sir?
¿Está trabajando, señor, actualmente?
No,
No.
trabajo temporal, así 2 o 3 días a la semana. Ahorita
I work,
empecé a aplicar porque me llegó el permiso de trabajo y me llegó el social y empecé a aplicar en las empresas.
so I work on an eventual basis, 2 or 3 days a week, but I'm going to start working because I received my work permit, and so I applied to work at the company.
So based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a lawyer free of charge, okay?
Basándome en ese señor, ya voy a nombrarle a un abogado de oficio para que le represente sin costo alguno para usted.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let me just let you know lastly, your next court date is going to be July 9th at 8:30 a.m. if you don't make your bond, okay?
Ahora, su próxima audiencia será el 9 de julio a las 8:30 de la mañana si usted no sale bajo fianza.
Correcto.
Correct.
All right. Do you have any questions now for me, sir, after having gone through everything?
Ahora bien, ¿tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí, ya que he repasado todo?
La pregunta es, la fianza, yo puedo no puedo pagar en bonds, o sea, el 10, el 12, el 15, la fianza y
The question is, could I pay a bondsman the 10, 12%?
The 12 to 15. Yes, sir, you could.
Entre el 12 y el 15%. Sí, señor, usted podría pagarlo así.
por lo que pasa que ayer fue mi familiar a pagar el bonds del que me habían dado aquí, que era 3,150 y decían que tenía que pagar el monto total en otras no aparecía en el sistema. Y al parecer anoche hablé con un oficial de guardia y me buscaron. Y sí, había un error en el nombre, en el apellido. Y lo corrigieron. Entonces, quería ver.
So, the thing is, yesterday a family member went to pay the bond, and they said that I had to pay the whole amount, the 3,150. And so then they were told again that it didn't show up in the system. So it seemed that there was an error with my last name. I spoke to a guard and they corrected it. So
ultimately, it is up to the bonding company whether they will accept the money, but you now have a bond. So if the bonding company is willing to do it, you should be able to do it today.
Entonces, a fin de cuentas, es decisión de la compañía de fianzas si ellos van a aceptar la fianza, pero usted ya tiene una fianza puesta, así que se podría pagar la fianza hoy día.
Ok, si yo pago la fianza hoy quedo en libertad, por decirle algo.
And if I pay the bond today, I will be released today.
Sometime later today, but that will be when the sheriff's office can release you.
En algún momento de hoy más tarde, en cuanto a la oficina del alguacil, podría ponerle en libertad.
Ok, otra pregunta. Yo tengo corte en Winex para ese mismo día a las 9 de la mañana. No sé si podría cambiar la fecha un día antes, un día después.
I have a question. I have a court date in Gwinnett on the same day at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure if my court date can be changed for the day before or the day after.
I don't have the power to do that, sir, but let your attorney know that and they can work with you on that.
No tengo el poder para hacer eso, pero hable con su abogado y ellos pueden arreglar eso con usted.
Ok.
Okay.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Muy bien. Buena suerte, señor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Toth.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. All right, ladies. All right, Deputy, we will start with our JOTS folks since we're on JOTS right now.
No, he won't do jobs first. Okay.
If you don't mind. I've got first here Taylor Coates, Coates, and then Emmanis, Emmanus, and then Jones. Coates, Emmanis, and
Which
Jones.
one?
Are
Sir,
you Ms. Coates?
I'm sorry, Yana. Mr. Rayo Navarre is not able to sign jobs at this moment.
You said he is or is not?
He's not able to sign it.
Let me go in again. Let's see. He should be able to. Oh, I see what. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me see it, do it this way. Okay, can he do it now?
Is it on there?
Should be. It's still not letting him. Okay, let me try one more thing. Let me see if I can do this. If it helps.
Okay.
8:38.
I guess it's probably.
All right, so that should do it now.
It's working now, sir.
Okay, there it is. All right, my apologies, ma'am. Are you Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Give me 1 second, Ms. Coates. I'm just waiting on the computer to catch up here. All right, so Ms. Coates, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, ma'am. That is a misdemeanor. Your bond amount is $3,000. You do have special conditions. They are to stay away from a Deidre Hobson as well as 1245 Willow Drive. As I said earlier, Ms. Coates, if that's where you were living when this incident happened, please understand that if you make your bond, ma'am, that you will have to ask the sheriff's office to take you out to that address and escort you to pick up any items that belong to you. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about anything we've discussed so far?
No.
Now, ma'am, because you are charged with a misdemeanor, you have the right to, as I mentioned earlier, that preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing. What would you like to do this morning?
Waive it.
All right, ma'am. So I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to a preliminary hearing. Based on the information you provided, ma'am, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning, free of charge. So you will have a lawyer to assist you on your case, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am. Well, then that's all I have for you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Next, perfect.
Yes, ma'am. Should be Emmanis and then Jones. Emmanis, Jones, and Luckett. Are you missing Emmanis? Is that correct?
Yes, I'm Miss Emmanis.
All right, Miss Emmanis, you're charged with 1 count of window tint violation, 1 count of trafficking in ecstasy, 2 counts of obstruction, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Now, ma'am, those are felony charges, and so I need to let you know that your next court date is going to be July 8th of 2012. Excuse me, 2024. You're also going to have a bond hearing, which is going to be July 12th of 2024. Both are at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. So again, your next court dates are July 8th, July 12th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Now, as far as your bond, as it relates to the window tint violation, your bond is $500. The obstruction, your bond is $2,000. For the second obstruction, your bond is $2,000. As it relates to the trafficking ecstasy, you are on a no bond, ma'am, so you have no bond on that charge. As it relates to the possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, you again are on no bond, ma'am, so you do not have a bond on that charge either. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes.
Now I understand here that you are making about $4,000 a month, or you were making about $4,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so based on that, ma'am, I am not going to be able to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning, and so you will have to get one. You will have to hire one yourself. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. So, do you have any questions of me at this point?
No.
All right, ma'am. So then that's all I have for you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go around this way to the desk.
Should be Miss Jones, and then after Miss Jones, I have Miss Luckett as 2 Lucketts right behind you.
Yes, sir.
Are you Miss Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right, Miss Jones, you are charged here in this allegation by the officer with 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree, which is a felony, and 1 count of possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce. Because you are charged with the felony, ma'am, that means you're going to have a court date, a preliminary hearing of July 8th at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that? Ms. Jones, do you understand that?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as to your bond, ma'am, the criminal damage carries a bond amount of $2,000. The possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana carries a bond amount of $1,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And so your total bond, ma'am, is going to be $3,000. Now, I see here that it varies as to how much you make per month. On average, about how much are you making per month, if you had to guess?
I'm honestly not sure.
What kind of work do you do?
It's okay. I'll say about 3,000 just to say that.
Okay. What kind of work do you do?
I'm a business owner. I just
Okay. Okay, you don't have any. Okay. So based on the information that you provided here this morning, ma'am, I am not going to be able to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. For your case, if you desire a lawyer to assist you on it, you will have to hire your own. Do you understand that, ma'am?
yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Jones, do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am, then that's all I have for you this morning. Good luck to you.
Will you want both of the Lucketts up here at the same time? Or you want one at a time?
One at a time, fine. Look, which one? Let me know which is coming first.
It's Ariana.
All right. Are you Miss Ariana Luckett?
Yes.
All right, so Miss Luckett, you are charged here with 1 count of battery family violence and 1 count of cruelty to children in the 1st degree. Now, of course, here the allegations are, of course, as you know, that it alleged that you were involved in a altercation here with a relative. As it relates to your bond, ma'am, your bond for the battery family violence is $5,000. As to the cruelty to children, it is $5,000 for a total bond of $10,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes.
You had a question?
Yeah, yesterday they told me that I only had the first charge, and they said that,
What I'm looking at is 2. So, I mean, ultimately that may change, but right now you got both charges, okay?
okay,
Now, I do have to tell you, Miss Luckett, you do have special conditions, and they are to stay away from the alleged victim, Heaven Luckett, and also to stay away from the address of 298 South Main Street. And I understand that you and your mother were living there as well with the alleged victim. So if you make your bond, ma'am, please understand that you are only go back there with the assistance of the sheriff's office. Do you understand? Is that a yes?
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. Now, lastly, ma'am, because you are charged with a felony, your next court date, if you don't make your bond, is going to be July 8th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's July 8th, 8:30 a.m. and that's via Zoom. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Just lastly, also to let you know, because of the information you provided here this morning, ma'am, I am going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, and so you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am. After Miss Luckett should be McClinton, Men's.
We have the others Luckett, sir. We have 2 Luckett.
I'm just letting you know after her.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it should be McClinton, Men's, and Price.
Yes, sir.
All right, so are you Miss Luckett?
Yes, sir.
And you are Sheree, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Miss Sheree, you are charged here with 1 count of battery family violence. The bond amount, ma'am, is $3,500. You also have a special condition, which is to stay away from Miss Luckett as well, Heaven Luckett, and that address of 298 South Main Street. And so, as I mentioned earlier, if that was where you were living prior to this happening, ma'am, please understand you cannot return unless your case is resolved or you are there with the assistance of the sheriff's office. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as a preliminary hearing, because you're only charged with a misdemeanor here, you wish to have that preliminary hearing or want me to waive it?
You can waive it, sir.
I'm sorry?
You can waive it.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to show that you are asking me to waive your preliminary hearing this morning. Again, that bond amount is $3,500. I have advised you of your special conditions. I am giving you a lawyer free of charge here this morning as well. And so, Ms. Luckett, once you step there to your right, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, ma'am, that's all I have for you this morning. Good luck to you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Sorry to interrupt. Ma'am, on the jot system, before we have them sign, it do have the charges mixed up for both Luckets.
Okay, so
Let me see.
for
For Ariana Luckett.
oh, that's
it's
weird. It
still-
did just do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
Okay,
what she was trying to say.
that's weird. It did just okay. So let me bring. Can you bring both of them back up?
They right here, yes, sir.
Ariana, can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't know how that just did that. Okay, so right now, what just? Give me 1 sec. That's weird. It was the other way at first. Let's see. What did it put down? I'm sorry, give me 1 moment, ladies. I'm just looking at your paperwork. deputies, did you see it before when it was the other way around, or was that the only way? Because before it had
I'm not
Ariana.
sure.
It's always been like that.
The other deputy that was watching it, he said it was like that when he was watching it. It shows,
Now it does have, okay, that's weird the way it's in the screen. Okay, so let's. Okay, so let's do it this way. Sheree, just to make sure, we're gonna go with where it is right now. Miss Sheree Luckett, you are charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, and 1 count of cruelty to children. I'm gonna make sure that this is correct because now it is showing up Miss Sheree Luckett as you charged with the felony, and your bond amount being $10,000. You do have a stay away from Miss Luckett and that address as I advised you before. Miss Luckett, because you are charged with the felony and it's showing now it's under you. Because you are charged with the felony, ma'am, you do have a preliminary hearing I have to advise you of, that being July 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that, Miss Sheree Luckett?
Yes, sir.
All right, so right now, Miss Ariana, I'm gonna check on this, but right now your warrant is only saying battery, family violence. I don't know if that was something in the computer system as I was reading it, but Miss Ariana, you are only charged now with the battery, family violence alone at a bond of $3,500, but you do have that special condition, which are to stay away from Miss Heaven Luckett and that address of South Main Street. Do you understand, ma'am?
Sir.
All right, ma'am. And then I've also given you a court-appointed lawyer this morning as well. Do you also understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. Good luck to you both.
Thank you.
All right. That's weird.
McClinton.
All right, and are you Miss McClinton?
Yes.
All right, Miss McClinton, just give me one moment here.
Okay.
All right, so Miss McClinton, you are charged with 1 count of criminal damage and property in the 2nd degree and 1 simple assault of family violence. The criminal damage to 2nd degree, ma'am, is a felony. The simple assault is a misdemeanor. It's important because I need you to know your next court date, if you don't make your bond, is going to be July 8th, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, because you are charged with a felony as well, and the information you've provided, I've gone ahead and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. And so you will have a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay? Now, as to the bond amount, ma'am, the bond for the criminal damage is an amount of $3,500. The simple assault, $2,500 for a total bond of $6,000, okay?
How much? The total amount?
$6,000.
6,000? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You do have special conditions, however, and they are to stay away from Carmen Tate and the address of 2604 Riverview Place. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And so if that's where you were living, ma'am, please remember, as I said earlier, you are only allowed there once your case is closed, or if you are accompanied by the sheriff's office to get any items that may belong to you, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
Nah, that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
for the Luckett's, they're still not able to sign at this time, and Ariana does want to waive her prelim.
Yeah, and it's not, it's already I'm I'd have to call, because it's not, it's showing on my end that it's already closed out and they should be able to sign. I'm gonna have to call IT and find out what's going on for theirs,
Yes, sir. Come on, Miss Lynn.
because I don't know why it's doing that. Was Miss McClinton, well, she was felony. Okay, so she should be fine. And are you Miss Min?
Yes. You gotta talk.
Okay. Ms. Min, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, ma'am. That is a misdemeanor. Based on the information, Ms. Min, that I was provided here this morning, I am gonna go ahead and grant you a bond this morning. Do you understand that? Can you hear me, Ms. Min? I'm sorry, Ms. Min, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I can hear you.
Okay. Did you hear what I said earlier? I advised you what you were charged with. Did you hear that?
Criminal trespass.
Yes, ma'am. So you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. At $2,500 is going to be your bond. Do you understand that? Ma'am, you gotta speak up so I can
I
hear you.
comprehend. I understand. I heard what you said.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, ma'am, you are also going to have to stay away from the address of 5814 Front Gate Drive. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, lastly, ma'am, are you working right now?
No.
Okay. Based on that information, ma'am, I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge. Do you understand that?
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Now, because you are charged with a misdemeanor, ma'am, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive the preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do? Would you like to have the hearing or waive it?
Pro bono.
I'm asking you about your preliminary hearing now. Would you like to have that hearing, that court date, or would you like to waive it?
No, we can have it now.
Okay, so it won't be now, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the court date down for you. It's gonna be July 9th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. and it's gonna be via Zoom, okay? So if you don't get out, ma'am, that's gonna be your next court date. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, good luck to you, Miss Man.
Go around now. Price.
All right, should be Price and Wright should be the last two. All right, are you Miss Price?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Miss Price, I'm gonna advise you here this morning, ma'am, that you are charged with 1 count of battery family violence. That is a misdemeanor. And your bond amount, ma'am, is $3,500. You are to stay away from the alleged victim, Miss Brittany Perkin, Perkin, as well as the address of 5738 BGA on Old Dixie Road. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
So if that's where you were living, ma'am, prior to this incident happening, please understand you are not allowed to return that to that incident location unless and until you make bond, your case is closed, or the sheriff's office escorts you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, lastly, ma'am, because you're charged with a misdemeanor, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing. Would you like to have it or waive it?
Waive it.
All right, ma'am. So I am going to show that you are waiving your preliminary hearing this morning. Because you are waiving that preliminary hearing, the deputy is there as you step away from the podium there. We'll have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, ma'am, that's all I have for you this morning. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
All right, ma'am. Well, then that's all I have for you. Good luck to you. And are you Miss Wright?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Miss Wright, you are charged here with, get it out for you, 1 count of criminal trespass, family violence, and 1 count of criminal trespass. I have reviewed the warrants against you, ma'am, and I want to let you know I dismissed one of the warrants, so the only remaining count is 1 count of criminal trespass, family violence. Do you understand that, Miss Wright?
Sir, thank you. Yes.
Now, also in reviewing that, ma'am, I'm going to also let you know I'm not closing your case today, but I am going to release you today. And so that means in a few hours here, once the deputies there at the Clayton County Sheriff's Office are able to do so, you will be allowed to go home today. Do you understand that?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Now, please keep this in mind, Ms. Wright. That doesn't mean, again, that your case is closed in any way. Your case is still going. It just means you're going home today. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Now, let me ask you this, Ms. Wright. Did you fill out one of the papers here for the court-appointed attorney? Oh, I see it.
Yes, sir.
So you just started working?
Yes, sir. Just got the job. I
Okay.
start tomorrow morning, as a matter of fact.
Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so again, ma'am, I'm releasing you today. Your next court date, ma'am, you're gonna have to get that in the mail because you're going home today. And so you're gonna have to keep that, make sure that since you're not allowed back at that address, that you're gonna give them a new address, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, any questions of me, ma'am?
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. All right, man. Well, that's all I have for you there. Because you're being released today, the deputies there will have a piece of paper there for you to sign, ma'am. And once you sign that piece of paper, that's all we've got for you today. Good luck to you, Ms. Wright.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
God, it's so
And then
good.
go around to Jason, sign on the floor. Go around and.
So then that should take us to the gentleman, and I have Blunt, Caldwell, and Curry up first.
I'm sorry, you wanna do the last two females? We don't have two females left.
Oh, that were off shots, yes. I
Yeah.
actually deputy for Miss Witcher, Witcher.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna have to hold on her. We're waiting on some information on her. Okay.
Yes, sir, we'll hold
I'm
her.
actually having to hold her. So that should just leave us is I've got Clark,
Yes, sir.
Smith,
Just
Clark and Smith. Is that right?
Just Clark.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so are you Miss Clark?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Miss Clark, you are charged with one count of possession of violation of controlled substance here, Schedule 1, and then one count of drug-related objects. Do you understand that, ma'am? Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so based on the information I have, ma'am, I'm just gonna go over your bond here. As it relates to the felony possession of drugs, your bond amount is gonna be $3,500. As it relates to the drug-related objects, your bond amount is going to be $500. And so that gives you a total bond of $4,000. Do you understand that?
Okay, you said
$4,000?
$4,000.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, now, because you are charged with a felony, ma'am, that does mean that you're going to get a preliminary hearing date should you not make your bond. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date, ma'am, is gonna be July 8th at 8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom. Again, that's July 8th, 8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
July 8th.
Yes, ma'am, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Okay? So $4,000 bond, July 8th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom if you don't make bond. And your bond is $3,500 on the first count and $500 on the second. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, one last question for you, ma'am. Are you currently working?
No, I was about to have a job, but I don't know if I've got one now.
Okay, when you say you don't know if you got one, what do you mean? Is it because of the arrest?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Prior to that, Ms. Clark, how much money were you making?
Wait, don't go.
If you were working?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, can you say that for me again?
I don't know.
Okay. So based on the information that you've given me here this morning, Ms. Clark, I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. And so you will get a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay?
Sir.
I'm giving you a lawyer free of charge on your case.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again, I've given you that next court date. I've told you what you've been charged with. Do you have any questions, Ms. Clark?
No.
All right, Ms. Clark, good luck to you.
This way, this way. Put a pen out. We'll need that. Appreciate it, bro.
All right. Are you Mr. Beasley?
Mr. Blunt?
Oh, excuse me, Blunt. Mr. Blunt, you're charged with one count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a Schedule 5 controlled substance, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana, possession of a Schedule 4 drug substance, and then failure to maintain lane. Because these are felonies, sir, your next court date, should you not make your bond, is going to be July 8th, 30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, as to your bond, the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon carries a bond amount of $10,000. The Schedule 5 carries a bond amount of $10,000. The firearm carries a bond amount of $8,000, the second charge. The possession of a marijuana more than an ounce, or excuse me, less than an ounce, carries a bond amount of $1,000. The possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance carries a bond amount of $10,000. And the failure to maintain lane carries a bond amount of $500. Your total bond is $39,500. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, as it relates to your being given a lawyer here this morning, I see here you're concerned about whether you'll still have that simply because of the arrest. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So prior to the arrest, sir, about how much were you making per month?
I was making a decent amount, but I don't know now. I'll go back.
When you say decent, can you give me the number?
I just said 1,000. Yes.
Okay, so based on that, sir, I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, so you'll get a lawyer free of charge regardless of whether you still have that job when, if you make your bond, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, so again, I've given you that bond of 39.5. I am gonna give you a lawyer. Your next court date, should you not make your bond, is gonna be July 8th of this year at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, Your Honor, but you gave me bond on all charges, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, sir, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, and are you Mr. Carwell?
Curry, C-U-R-R-Y.
You go home. Yeah. No.
Okay.
So you have seen Carwell, your firm. Mr. Carwell.
Is there a Caldwell?
Yes.
That's me.
I mean Caldwell and then Curry. Are you Mr. Caldwell?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Caldwell, you are charged here with one count of following too closely, one count of possession of less than an ounce of marijuana, and one count of drug-related objects. Sir, based on the information I was provided here this morning, Mr. Caldwell, I am going to go ahead and release you this morning. Let me explain to you, sir, that does not mean that your case is over. It just means that you'll be allowed to go home here today. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, I need you to also remember that whatever your best known address is, that's the address your new court date is going to go to. So please make sure that when you leave, the sheriff's office has the best address for you, okay?
Sir, shouldn't change. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, based on the information you provided here this morning, sir, I also need to let you know you do not qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. So if you would like a lawyer on your case to assist you, you will have to acquire your own. Do you understand?
Sir.
All right, sir. Do you have any questions of me?
No, not necessarily. No, you answered all of them. Is there a bond amount or just let me go? Just let me go.
Well, because you're being released, sir, you do not have a bond amount.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Carwell.
Now it should be Curry, Harris, and Jackson should be coming up. Curry, Harris, Jackson. All right, Mr. Curry. So, Mr. Curry, you initially are charged here with one count of terroristic threat. I need you to understand, sir, that it was charged as a misdemeanor. However, that is in fact a felony. Now, because it's a felony, sir, your new court date is going to be July 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom for your preliminary hearing, should you not make your bond. Do you understand?
How did it turn into a felony, sir?
Based on the allegations, that's a felony charge. That is not a misdemeanor, sir. Do you understand?
All right, yes, sir.
Now,
You said July 8th.
yes, sir, July 8th,
At what time?
8:30 a.m. and it's going to be via Zoom.
You said when?
8:30 a.m. July 8th via Zoom. Okay. Did you hear that?
It's all good.
Okay. Now, as it relates to your bond, sir, because I have here that you are currently on probation, out of Clayton County, you are on a no bond status. However, should that change at a later date and you are given a bond, you will have special conditions, and those are to stay away from Latavia Alsobrooks, and also to stay away, just to stay away from Miss Alsobrooks. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Now, lastly, sir, are you currently working?
No.
So based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to give you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning. And so you will get a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay?
All right.
All right, sir. Do you have any other questions for me?
That's it.
All right, sir. Then I've gone ahead. I've given you everything that you need this morning, that being that you're on a no bond. You're getting a lawyer free of charge. Your next court date is going to be July 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And I've also advised you that should you make your bond at a later date, that you were to stay away from this also. Good luck to you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Excellent.
Are you Mr. Harris?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, so Mr. Harris, you're charged with one count of pedestrian in the roadway, one count of obstruction, and one count of disorderly conduct, all being misdemeanors, sir. Your total bond is $3,000. As it relates to the pedestrian and roadway, it's $500. The obstruction, $1,500. The disorderly, $1,000. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are you currently working, sir?
Yes, sir.
About how much are you making per month?
2000.
Do you have any children?
Sir.
Do you have any children? Okay. So based on that, sir, I am not going to be able to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning, so you will have to hire your own. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I already have one.
Okay, no problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and appoint, I'm not appointing you one anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, because you are charged with misdemeanors, Mr. Harris, you have that right to that preliminary hearing I mentioned earlier, or you can waive your right to the hearing. Which would you like to do? Have it or waive it? I'm sorry?
I waive.
Okay. I hear that you're saying you want to waive it. Is that correct? Okay, so Mr. Harris, I'm going to show here that you are waiving your right to the preliminary hearing. I've advised you of your bond amount, that being $3,000. I've advised you that you do not qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, so that means you will have to hire your own. Now, because you've decided to waive your preliminary hearing, as you step away from the podium, sir, there will be a document there that the deputies will have you sign, and once you sign that, that's all I've got for you this morning, sir. Good luck to you. Right after Jackson should be Johnson and Jones. Are you Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
That's Keandre Johnson, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Keandre Johnson, you're charged with one count of obstruction of an officer. Based on the information that I've been provided here this morning, Mr. Johnson, I am going to go ahead and grant you a bond.
Did you pay your previous?
The bond amount is going to be, as it relates to the obstruction, $2,000. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay, so your bond is $2,000. I've got here, are you currently working, sir?
No, no, sir.
All right, so I am gonna go ahead and grant you a lawyer free of charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, so you're gonna get a lawyer free of charge. Your bond amount is $2,000. Let me ask you, because you are charged with misdemeanors, you have a right to that preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing. Which would you like to do? Have it or waive it?
I'll waive it.
All right, sir. So I'm going to show that you are waiving your preliminary hearing this morning. So I am going to go ahead and enter that into our system. Now, because you are waiving your preliminary hearing, there's going to be a document there that the deputies will have you sign to your right as you are leaving the podium. Once you sign that document, sir, that's all I have for you this morning. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I've got Johnson, Jones, and Kelly.
Jones, next.
Or yeah, Jones, Kelly, Marshall. Marshall should be third. Are you Mr. Jones?
How you doing, young?
I'm doing well. Mr. Jones, correct?
Yes, sir.
right.
Are you on it up? When I have anything, when I get with you before I leave from the podium, sir?
Hold on, sir. Let me.
Let him talk first, and we'll push it.
All right, so Mr. Jones, you're charged with one count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, actually 2 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, 2 counts of possession of drug-related objects, additional counts of possession of drug-related objects, felony violation of a Georgia Controlled Substances Act as it relates to marijuana. You were initially charged with possession of 1 count of a controlled substance, Schedule 1, and possession of a Schedule 5. Now, of those charges, sir, I have dismissed one of those counts. Do you understand that, sir?
I do, sir, but we didn't have none of that. I didn't have none of that in my possession.
So, okay, so remember what I said earlier. You don't.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to me about that information. So you'll have an opportunity, Mr. Jones, to discuss that with your lawyer. But as of today, I just need to let you know that I have gone ahead and dismissed one of those charges for you, okay?
Yes, sir. All right.
Now, based on the information that you provided to me, sir, I have gone ahead also and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer. So you will have a lawyer free of charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, because you're currently charged with felony, sir, your next court date is going to be July 8th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I do, sir.
Now, I'm just going to go through with you your bond amounts. So the 2 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime each carry a bond amount of $15,000. The drug-related objects, you got 4 counts of it, each carries a bond amount of $500. The violation of a Georgia Controlled Substances Act, the possession of marijuana, carries a bond amount of $5,000. Then, as I said, I've dismissed one of those charges. And then the final charge, possession of a Schedule 5 substance, carries a bond amount of $8,000. So your total bond amount, sir, is $45,000. Do you understand that?
Hold on, Your Honor. I'm sorry to interrupt. I think their charges are mixed up too, like the Luckett.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Good Lord, what's going on with this computer?
I don't. You'll get.
All right. And I apologize, Mr. Jones here. It's flashing on me. Let's start from the beginning. So, Mr. Jones, I've got you here. You're charged with 1 count of trafficking, 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, okay? And I apologize again, sir. That's technical error on our end. However, sir, based on the fact that these allegations, legally, whenever an individual is charged with trafficking, I cannot legally give you bond. So you're actually going to be on a no bond status at this point. So I've got 2 court dates I'm going to have to give you here, okay? Your 2 court dates are going to be the first one, July 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. The second is going to be your bond hearing date, July 12th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that? I have gone ahead. I'm sorry, say that again, Mr. Jones?
No bond at all?
No, sir. And I apologize again, but because of we're having technical difficulties on my end, but because of those types of charges, I am not allowed to give you bond.
So, well, I will still be able to talk to you in court, right?
It won't be me, but it'll be another judge. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, you're on a no bond status, sir. Your new court dates are going to be July 8th and July 12th. I have gone ahead and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer. Do you have any other questions of me?
I do, but sure, ain't no need to ask me.
Well, at this point, if it's not about the, your bond or your new court dates, that's all I can discuss with you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jackson.
Mr. Jones.
Is Jackson no Jackson? Okay. Before you get skilled. Tell me your name, sir.
Kevin Jackson.
What's the name, sir?
Kevin Jackson.
Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Jackson.
I have a Johnson.
Some Jackson.
Yeah, he should be on the job, sir.
Okay, I see it here. I see it. Okay, so Mr. Jackson, you are charged with 1 count of obstruction of an officer. Your total bond amount, sir, is $2,000. Looking at the information that you provided here, sir, are you currently working?
No, sir.
I'm sorry, can you speak up a little bit for me?
No, sir. I'm on the phone to work.
Okay.
Judge, this is Andrew Walker. They treating me wrong in here. They broke my glasses. I didn't do nothing, sir.
Mr. Jackson, if I heard you correctly, you said that you are not working. Is that correct?
Sir.
All right. So because you are not working, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Give me one. I don't see it. Oh, here we go. All right. So now we've talked about what you're charged with. I've appointed you a court-appointed lawyer. Your next court date, should you not make your bond, sir, is going to be, because you're charged with a misdemeanor, it's going to be July 9th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom, Mr. Jackson. Do you understand? Mr. Jackson, can you hear me? Am I loud enough?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So did you hear what I said?
Yeah, about July 9th.
Yes. So again, you're charged with 1 count of misdemeanor obstruction. Your bond amount is $2,000. Your next court date is going to be July 9th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom if you don't make your bond. And I've also given you a court-appointed lawyer this morning, okay? Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, sir. Then if you don't have any questions of me, that's all I have for you. Good luck to you.
And this Mr. Nathaniel Kelly, he's in the wheelchair, so I gotta fix the computer.
No problem. And who is this here?
Where you guys on,
Nathaniel
It should be
Kelly.
Mr. Kelly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Kelly, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence. Your bond amount, sir, is $3,500. You do have stay away conditions, sir, and they are to stay away from a Miss Turner, Cheek Turner, CHIQUE. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You are also to stay away from the address of 6343 Amberley Court. And so if that's somewhere that you were living before this happened, sir, please understand that you are not to return to that address unless you make bond and you are accompanied by the sheriff. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Now, sir, you are charged with misdemeanors. Because you are charged with misdemeanors, that means you have the right to the preliminary hearing that I talked about, or you can waive your preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do? Would you like to have that hearing or waive it? Okay, so I'm going to show that you said you'd like to have the hearing. And so your next court date is going to be July 9th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, Mr. Kelly? Can you hear me, Mr. Kelly?
Yeah.
He's talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let me ask you, Mr. Kelly, are you working right now?
No, I'm not.
Okay, because you're not working, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. And so what that means, sir, is you're going to have a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay? Okay, Mr. Kelly? All right, so Mr. Kelly, that's all the questions I have for you, or all the information I have for you. Unless you have a question for me, Mr. Kelly, that's all I need of you, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From the intake.
Yeah. Come on.
Next.
Can you sign?
I've got Marshall to be next.
Give me 1 second, Majesty.
And are you Mr. Marshall?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Marshall, I am showing here that you are charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting. That is a misdemeanor, sir. Your bond amount is $2,000. You are to stay away from the address of 2940 Anvil Block Road, which is 2941 Anvil Block Road, which is the Walmart where this allegedly happened. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, because you are charged with misdemeanor, sir, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that preliminary hearing. Which would you like to have, sir? Would you like to have it or waive it?
Waive it.
All right, sir. So I'm going to show that you are waiving your preliminary hearing this morning. Now, because of the information that you provided, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. You will have a lawyer free of charge here to help you on your case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Now, because you are waiving your hearing, the deputies there to your right will have a document for you to sign. Once you sign that document, that's all I've got for you, sir. Good luck to you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to see, I don't have a job currently. I was trying to see, since it's my first offense, if I could get a signature
No.
going.
No, sir.
Okay, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Wait, Mr. Marshall.
And who are you showing next, deputy?
Christopher Moses.
Okay, yep.
Yes, sir.
Housing said, walk all down the hall, hands behind your back. It'll be the last house on the right hand side.
You can assist him. Oh, Mr.
Yeah, all the way down. No, not that way, left.
Are you showing Moses on your end in dots?
Yes, sir.
I'm not.
Oh, it's not on there?
Negative.
Okay, no, sir, then.
All right, and I don't, I'll be honest with you, I didn't see him. I didn't see the paperwork on his either. Can we hold Mr. Moses? Let me see if I can find his paperwork.
Yeah, come on. On the next person, it should be Romero.
Yep, that's who I've got. I've got Romero, Scott, and Strong as my end. Romero, Scott, and Strong.
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you Mr. Romero?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Romero, you are charged with 1 count of driving without a license, 1 count of following too closely. Those are both misdemeanors, sir. Your bond amount for the without a license is $1,500. Your bond amount for the following two closely is $500 for a total bond of $2,000. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, because these are misdemeanors, sir, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you have the right to waive that hearing. Which would you like to do? Have it or waive it?
Waive it.
All right, sir. Now, because of the information you provided to me this morning, I'm also going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer to help you free of charge on your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, so again, your bond amount is total of $2,000. You got a lawyer free of charge. You are waiving your right to a preliminary hearing. So I see there you're signing that document. And once you sign that document, that's all we've got for you this morning, sir. Good luck to you, Mr. Romero.
Put that down, put the pen down. Can you write some down? Okay, go around and sign them, please.
All right, I've got next, Scott.
Scott, Beasley, Scott, can I say this? Beat Scott. Yeah.
Scott, and then Strong and Walker. Scott, Strong, and Walker.
Okay, Your Honor, before you start, Mr. Walker, you put the gentleman yelling in the background. You want to try to do him last?
Yeah, let's hold him.
Okay.
All right, are you Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Scott, you are charged with two misdemeanors here, simple assault, family violence, and battery, family violence. The simple assault carries a bond of $1,000. The family violence battery carries a bond amount of $3,500 for a total bond of $4,500. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Now, you do have special conditions, and they are to stay away from Tinsley Alexander. Do you understand that?
I didn't hear you. It's skipped.
You are to stay away from a Tinsley Alexander. Do you hear that? You do not have any contact with Tinsley Alexander.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you, are you currently working? Mr. Scott, are you working? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Are you working?
Yes.
How much are you earning per month?
About 2,000.
Do you have any children?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, the last question I have for you, Mr. Tinsley, because you are charged with misdemeanor, sir, you have the right to a preliminary hearing, or you have the right to waive that preliminary hearing should you so desire to. Would you like to have that hearing, sir, or waive it?
Have it.
All right, sir. So because you are desiring to have it, I'm going to tell you your next court date is going to be July 9th, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom if you don't make your bond. So again, it's going to be July 9th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. I advise you that your bond amount here this morning is, I believe it was $3,500, and that I'm giving you a lawyer free of charge. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, sir.
All right, sir. So as you step there to your right, you may have to sign that court-appointed document if you haven't already signed that, but you are not waiving. He's not waiving, deputy, so he doesn't have to sign a waiver. All right. Good luck to you, sir. All right. I've got Strong, and then we're gonna hold on Walker.
That's strong, right?
Are you Mr. Strong? Is that a yes? Mr. Strong?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Strong, you are charged with possession of a firearm in the commission of a crime, felony violation of a Georgia Controlled Substances Act. You are charged with 4 counts of drug-related objects. You're charged with a possession of a Schedule 5 drug substance, possession of a Schedule 1, driving on a suspended license, failure to maintain lane, and then a second count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Now, Mr. Strong, as I told the gentleman earlier, who I believe you were alleged to have been in the vehicle with, I am dismissing one of these counts. That would be the felony possession of a Schedule 1 drug. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
Now, I see you do not have any children. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
All right. So based on that information, sir, I am not going to be able to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. And so that means that as of today, if you would like a lawyer, you will have to obtain your own free of charge. Do you understand that? Or
Yes,
not
sir.
free of charge, but you will have to get your own lawyer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, also because you were charged with the felony, your next court date is going to be your preliminary hearing, and that's going to be July 8th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Lastly, let me just go over these bond amounts with you. The firearm during commission of a crime, those both carry bonds of $8,000. The felony marijuana carries a bond amount of $10,000. The possession of a drug-related object, the 4 counts, carries a bond amount of $500. And then the driving on a suspended license carries a bond amount of $1,500. The failure to maintain brake lights, bond amount is $500. So your total bond, sir, is $38,000. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, sir. Do you have any questions of me?
So that means I only have, if I get a bond with bonding company, I only have to pay like $4,000.
You would pay 15% of 38,000, so you're roughly looking at about 10 half of that, about 4,500 to $5,000 is right about where you are.
All right, another question. You said one of my controlled substances was the mist.
Yes, sir.
Which
So I
controlled
dismissed it
substance
today.
was
It was the felony violation of a Georgia Controlled Substances Act.
Do you know like what drug that was?
I do not, sir.
Okay, you said it was the, say the charge again one more time, my bad.
Write it down.
Possession of a Schedule 5 substance is the one I dismissed.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
whenever you get a chance, I know we probably can wait till the last. We still have Mr. Keandre Johnson. He was unsure of the charges since I guess it was mixed up.
Yeah, the computer. Sure, you can put him back up there. We can go ahead and do it.
So,
Okay.
I'll wait again to the dead end.
Are you Mr. So let's go through that, Mr. Johnson, make sure we're on the same page. So, Mr. Johnson, you have possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. You have 4 counts of drug-related objects, 1 count of Georgia violation of Controlled Substances Act. That's the marijuana as a felony. You had a Schedule 1 possession as a felony and Schedule 5 as a felony. As I mentioned earlier, the possession of a Schedule 1 that I also spoke with you earlier and the gentleman just now, I dismissed that count because of some information lacking. Because you are charged with felonies here, sir, your next court date is going to be July 8th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir. And can you tell me about bond amount?
I'm going to go through it with you. The firearms carry a bond amount of $15,000 and you've got 2 of them, so 15 and 15. The drug-related objects, you got 4 of those. Each of those carries a bond amount of $500, so a total of $2,000. And then the felony marijuana is a bond amount of $5,000. And so your total bond is $45,000. Okay?
Thank you.
Good now?
No problem, sir. Do you have any other questions of me?
No, sir.
You got that next court date, right?
Yes, sir. I got it.
All right, sir. All right, good luck. Say that again?
Okay. All right.
Was he asking me a question?
Yeah, I was about to ask you about bond.
If you bond out, then you'll get a court date in the mail.
Okay.
Yes.
No, you go back to Sills.
All right, so that should be everybody on JOTS, is that correct?
Yes, sir, except for Walker, and we're gonna do him last.
We're gonna do him last, yep. All right, sir, and what's your name?
Xavier Beasley.
All right. All right, so Mr. Beasley, you are charged here with 1 count of failure to have headlights working properly. That has a bond amount of $500. You're charged with violation of a seatbelt law. That bond amount is $500. DUI less safe, $5,000. DUI combined substance, $2,500. So your total bond, sir, is $8,500. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, about how much are you making per month, sir?
My sir, so it varies. So typically anywhere from like 2,000 to up to 35.
Okay, so based on that, sir, I am not going to be able to appoint your court-appointed lawyer this morning. So you will have to hire your own free to represent you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Then lastly, sir, let me ask you this. Because you are charged with misdemeanors, you have the right to a preliminary hearing or you have the right to waive that preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do? Have it or waive it?
I want to have it.
All right, so I am showing you would like me to set that date. So that's going to be July 9th 2024, and again, that's gonna be 8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom. Then that's gonna be July 9th of 2024, and that's at 8:30 a.m. and that's via Zoom. And again, you only have that court date if you fail to make your bond, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
All right, do you have any questions of me, sir?
No.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right, he got to go back to hold it. Next. It should
I'm
be
showing Johnson.
Johnson, Marvin Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you are charged with 1 count of possession of firearm by a convicted felon, possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana, and failure to use your turn signal. Your bond amount total, sir, is $9,500. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, because you are charged with a felony, your next court date, should you not make your bond, will be July 8th, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. You say July 8th.
Yes, sir, July 8th,
What time you say, sir? One more time?
8:30 a.m.,
Thank you, sir.
okay? Lastly, sir, because you provided certain information to me, I am going to go ahead and I'm appointing you a court-appointed lawyer. And so you will have that lawyer free of charge, Mr. Johnson. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Johnson, that's all I have for you. Do you have any other questions of me?
No, so you said my total bond was 9,000?
9,500.
That's a cash bond?
You can do it in cash property, or via cash property or a bonding company. It's up to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Come
All
on.
right, I've got Munn.
Yes, sir, he's coming up.
All right, good morning, Mr. Munn.
What, you go straight on that?
I'm showing you're charged with 1 count of concealing an ID, no insurance, no tag, felony possession. You're also charged with possession of a drug-related object, fleeing from police, disobeying a traffic light, improper lane, and driving with a suspended license. The concealing ID carries a bond of $500, no insurance, $1,000, no tag, $500. The drug-related objects, $500. The red light, $500. Improper lane, $500. Suspended license, $1,500. The felony drugs is on a no bond. The fleeing and elude is a no bond as well, sir, as I'm showing that you're currently on probation out of Henry County Superior Court. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, because you are charged with felonies, sir, I am going to give you your next court date. It's going to be July 8th at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom for your preliminary hearing. And then your bond hearing date is going to be July 12th, and that's at 8:30 a.m., and that's also going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, because of the information you provided, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning. So you will have a lawyer free of charge as well, okay?
All right.
All right, Mr. Munn, do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Munn, well, then that's all I have for you. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Smith, come on up.
Could be Jackie Smith.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Smith, you are charged with 1 count of criminal damage in the 2nd degree, sir. Your bond amount has been altered. It's going to be $3,500. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, because this is a felony, sir, you do have a couple of things I need to tell you. One, you have special conditions. They are to stay away from 609 Camp Street, where this was alleged to have happened. Do you understand?
I live there.
All right, sir. If that's where you live, then please understand that if you make your bond, and you need to get some items from that address, you are only allowed to get them so long as you are accompanied by law enforcement. Do you understand that?
Now, I'm the landlord.
I understand that, sir, but as of right now, you are not to return to that address with what was alleged. That you may get that modified at some point, Mr. Munn, but excuse me, Mr. Smith, but right now you're not allowed to return to that address. Do you understand that, sir?
I understand, sir.
All right, so again, you are charged with felonies. Your next court date is July 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Is that your source of employment as a landlord? Or are you working anywhere else?
Social Security.
Okay, about how much are you drawing per month on average?
1,900.
All right, so based on that, sir, I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. So you will have a lawyer free of charge on your case, okay?
And it's seven, the date, I gotta go back to court is when, 7,
July 8th at 8:30 a.m. and it's via Zoom.
8.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, sir. Do you have any other questions?
No,
All right, then that's all I have, sir. Good luck to you.
all right.
All right, and I show Melvin Wright.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Wright, you are charged with 1 count of driving with a suspended license. That is a misdemeanor. Your bond amount is $1,500. Because you're charged with a misdemeanor, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, sir, or you can waive that hearing. Which would you like to do?
Wait, bond.
Okay, so I am gonna show, sir, that you are waiving your right to that preliminary hearing. And I understand that you're a veteran, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, sir. So you're likely going to be contacted, just so you know, for a special program that we have for veterans. But I am going to show here for the purposes of today that you are waiving your preliminary hearing. I am going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge as well, okay?
All right. But I can make bond before that date though, right?
Yes, sir. If you make bond before that date, yes, sir. It means you'll just you'll be out. Well, you'll just be out.
They say I got a hole in Ocean County.
Well, don't talk to me about that. Don't tell me that, sir.
It's off now.
But I mean, if you got a hold somewhere else, then you'll have that hold, and you'll have to deal with that, and you'll just be transferred to wherever you got that hold at.
It's a ticket.
Okay. Well, then they'll take you there before you're released. Then.
Okay.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great morning.
You good. You can go back to your house again, sir.
And so, Miss Witcher, they are making that change on her case right now, so I still got a hold on that one.
Yes, sir.
And I think that should be Walker and then Moses.
Yes, sir.
All right. So can we do Walker and then I got to look for Moses? I don't see where they brought me his warrant.
Okay.
I burned it out.
Just let him see.
Was that Moses saying that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that might be why then, because they're not showing.
No.
Yeah, that might be why. It's not showing, but they didn't give me any paperwork on him. If I could just have Walker right now.
Yes, sir. We're going to get him.
Okay. I'm gonna double check here, but I did not get anything on Walker. I mean on Moses.
Still waiting on information. And did you want me to hold the other Luckett regarding the job?
I'm gonna have to tell. That's the daughter, Ariana.
Sheree.
Well, Sheree, no, because she's charged with the felony now. If I remember, let me look now to make sure.
Yes, sir. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm showing Sheree is being charged with the felony, so she cannot. Yeah, she can't waive it.
Okay.
Okay, so she can go back. So right now we should have.
Yes, Walker,
and
Moses,
then,
and Richard.
Yep.
Here's go Mr. Walker right now.
All right, and are you Mr. Walker?
Yes, sir. I don't
All right,
have
so Mr.
right now because they took it.
I understand, sir. Let me get through this, Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker, you're charged with 1 count of misdemeanor criminal trespass, family violence. Your bond amount is $3,500. You are to stay away from the address of 7265 Kings Point, Mr. Walker. So if that's somewhere you were living prior to this incident allegedly happening, just please understand, if you make your bond, you're not allowed to return to that address unless and until you are.
First offense, sir.
Listen, Mr. Walker, you are not allowed to return to that address unless you are with the deputies. I'm
not going back to my dead house. I'm not.
All right, Mr. Walker. The next time you interrupt me, Mr. Walker, we're gonna have to end this. Let me help you here. You're at $3,500 in bond. Are you currently working, Mr. Walker?
I get SSI.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get you a lawyer free of charge to help you out. Okay. Lastly, sir, preliminary hearing. Would you like to have your hearing or waive your hearing?
What if I waive it? What happens?
Nothing. It just means your case is going to move a little faster. It means I'm not going to set a hearing for you to potentially get it dismissed.
I can get the bond dismissal or the
No,
case,
sir. No, sir.
the
What I'm gonna do,
charge.
say that again?
I can get the charge dismissed.
No, sir. So, Mr. Walker, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and set, if you don't make your bond, I'm gonna set that preliminary hearing date for you for July 9th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. If you make your bond, sir, then
I
you
won't make that bond. I need a quicker way.
so then you'll be here for that next court date, Mr. Walker.
So
And
how
then
can I go
Mr.
home?
Walker. All right, Deputy, I'm done.
We're done.
with it.
We're
I'm
done. We're done.
Mr.
We're
Walker.
done here. We're done. Let's go.
You gotta listen, Mr. Walker.
Okay. See, and you please.
We're done. We're done. All right. Just sorry about that.
So then, no problem. So then I've got some information coming. You can bring Miss Witcher to the podium, but she's still gonna have to hold for a few minutes while I'm looking for Moses, and I can just explain to her what's happening.
Okay, she's coming up right now.
And while she's coming up, Deputy, do you all have any information that Moses made bond?
All we had stated that he had already set bond. We weren't for sure. We thought we could bring him up to court, so then you could address it.
You said you are showing that bond was set?
OTB, yes, sir.
Okay, so maybe because they didn't put it on my end, but that would explain why I don't have anything.
Probably why.
Okay, I'm gonna put that down as well as OTB, and I'll just double check.
Okay. You want me to switch you now?
Oh yeah, you can put Miss Witcher now. Ms. Witcher, here's what's happening right now. I just need to advise you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give the officer a few minutes, but there are some changes being made to your warrant. You are currently charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of cruelty to children in the 1st degree, and 1 count of disorderly conduct. The aggravated assault and the cruelty to children are both felonies, ma'am. The disorderly conduct is a misdemeanor. Your next court date is going to be July 9th. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and it's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, Ms. Witcher?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now I am going to set a bond, give you a bond amount here. Like I said, I'm waiting for some edits to be done. And once those edits are done, I'll officially fill out all the paperwork, but it's not going to change the bond amount I intended to set so that you can go ahead and hear this. The disorderly conduct, ma'am, is going to be a bond amount of $2,500. And the cruelty to children, ma'am, as a felony is going to be on a no bond status. The aggravated assault is going to be on a no bond status. And then, so as I said, your next court date is going to be July 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom for your preliminary hearing. And then for your bond hearing date for them to reconsider bond is going to be July 12th at 8:30 a.m. And that's also going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, Ms. Witcher?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me what you don't understand.
I don't understand why I don't have a bond and I don't have any priors. I was actually jumped.
Okay, so hold on, Ms. Witcher, hold on. I don't know if you heard me earlier. Let me say this. My job here today is to review the warrant that I have, and based on that warrant, to make a decision about bond and charges. So what you're getting into is legal defense. And as I said earlier, you don't want to talk to me about that here today because this is recorded and there are witnesses. And so you don't want to tip your hand about what your possible defense could be in your case. That's for you to discuss with your attorney, whether you hire your own or one is appointed to you here today, okay? But based on the information I have, I can only go off of what I have right now. What I have is an allegation that you assaulted somebody by stabbing them in the eye, in the face is what it says. Resulting in an injury. And those are pretty serious allegations. And so based on that, that would be the reason, Ms. Witcher, for the no bond. But you will have an opportunity for a later judge to reconsider it. And that's why I was giving you those court dates of the 8th of July and the 12th. Are you currently working, Ms. Witcher?
I am.
Okay, and how much money are you making per month?
About roughly
1,500?
Yes.
Okay. So based on that, ma'am, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. So you will have a lawyer free of charge on your case. Do you understand that?
I did have a lawyer. My lawyer was here yesterday.
Okay. And so I understand that to be correct. So here's what I'm going to do. Just to protect everybody, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead, ma'am. I'm going to put down court-appointed lawyer. I understand you have one. And then once your lawyer enters an appearance for you on this case, then he can just substitute counsel himself. And so the attorney that I have given you, you won't ever use them, okay?
Okay, so my bond is, no bond. My next bond hearing is July 8th.
Yes, ma'am. No, July 12th. Your preliminary hearing is July 8th. Preliminary, July 8th. No, your bond hearing, July 12th. Your no bond on the ag assault and cruelty to children, and $2,500 on the disorderly conduct.
Said 2,500.
On the disorderly conduct, yes, ma'am.
2,500.
Okay,
You good?
Not really, but.
all right.
That's
Good luck to you, Ms. Witcher.
okay.
All right, can you bring Mr. Moses out?
Yes, sir, you are.
And then I think that's all I'm showing.
Yes, sir, that's your last one.
That's the big black one.
All right, here you go, Mr. Moses, sir.
Hello.
All right, are you Mr. Moses?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Moses, I heard you off screen here because I was looking over your information, and I don't have any paperwork for you. And so I believe we've sort of learned that you may have bonded out. I think you said as well. Is that correct? Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir. It was about 18 hours ago. My people, as soon as I got here, my people was already downstairs and they paid the bill soon as it was posted. And that was about 18 hours ago.
Okay, so I'm gonna just double check on my end, but as of right now, sir, since you're showing out to bond, I'm not gonna go ahead and make you fill out this paperwork. And then what you need, I just wanted to let you know that, but I also want to remind you of this. Because you may have made bond at this point, please keep in mind that your next court date is gonna come in the mail. And so with it coming in the mail, please make sure that you keep up with it, that the sheriff's office has the best address for you, because that's where you'll get your new court date from, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Moses, any questions I can answer for you, sir?
Like, what's my next step? Like, if like,
Waiting on that piece of paper in the mail.
so I'm about to go home. Like,
If you bonded out already, then some point in the next several hours, the sheriff's office will release you.
okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right.
All right, thank you, folks. Sorry for that today. I'm gonna go find out what's going on with this
We
computer.
apologize for the interruptions, Judge.
No, no problem. Y'all